One of my favorite fire lays, super easy to do. You're going to take your two least likely to burn pieces after you've processed your wood, stack them at an angle, something like that. That's basically it. But there's one more piece that is helpful. It's going to be a crossbar that goes across like that, and it's called an wAy. That's how easy it is. Of course, it can be better, more complicated than that, but that's the gist of it. This piece here is actually dispensable, not necessary, but it is helpful sometimes. So the wAy fire lay is one of my favorites with a lot of advantages to it, a couple of disadvantages as well. I have it set up here in a fire ring, but outside of here is just straight dirt. It'd be totally safe to have it outside here. The wAy fire lay does contain the flame pretty well. It contains the coals and embers pretty well, and you don't have rocks exploding from the fire. It's easy to replace, it's easy to just consume it all, and it's easy to put out. So if your area is clear and safe, wAy fire lay is a good one. This piece here, the cross of the A, is pretty dispensable. This is going to burn away, and it's not really going to be a part of the fire lay that you reuse. These two pieces will probably last you a few fires, especially if you have some nice, hard, knotty, wet, rotten, whatever it is. These big pieces that are hard to burn. The coals tend to stay in the middle. The sides just keep the heat in. And if you're on this side of the heat of the fire lay where it's open, your heat comes to you. If the wind is coming this way, it splits on the A, and it actually maintains pretty good. So after you have your wAy set up, a good way to get your cooking coals is going to be to take your rat nest or your bird nest or your paper wad, stick it in there in the top of the corner there, and then take your kindling and stack it in a way, it's kind of like a fan. So you put one side there and then you cross it so that it crosses up here, but it splays out down there, and then you alternate. You do that again, except for this side's a little bit in, and then you do it again on this side. Crosses up here, a little bit in. You just keep on doing that. Crosses here, just one space in, and you just keep on doing that stack until you're kind of closed off and you don't really have access to your tinder. And then what you want to do, of course, light it however you want to light it. I like to have my tinder on the end of a stick like that, and then I can light it, put it in there. That tinder is going to catch these kindling pieces, and it's going to burn away pretty quick. It's going to burn pretty easily and burn away kind of completely. So before that happens, I want to take my A, the crossbar of the A, stick it back on there. Now I can do a log cabin style, a teepee style, whatever, or I can do this again. I can take more of my kindling pieces and I can stack them like this again, which is super easy. And then again, it's going to work just like a log cabin works, or just like a teepee style works, and all the pieces are going to burn, fall into there, and they're going to make coals in the center there. Okay, now that's one way of doing that, but another way is I can make my cross pieces on this side. Of course, you notice I use bigger pieces this time, but I'm just crossing here, and I'm making the fan kind of close in a little bit with every sequential piece I lay down here. And again, when that catches on fire pretty easily, it's going to burn and fall into there. I'm getting my coal bed set up pretty quick. I'm going to be able to probably cook on this in about a half an hour. The coals will be good enough to cook with. The coals can be good enough to cook with in about a half an hour. Usually that's what I work with. So I use my 2 hardest to burn pieces. I use whatever tinder I'm going to have down there, some kindling, a cross piece, and another set of that fan method there, and it gets going pretty good. Now, if I'm going to be cooking for something that takes a long time to cook, like maybe some meat or something that takes like a half an hour or something to cook that I want to cook pretty thorough, I'm actually going to let this fall in and then take even bigger pieces, you know, my pieces that have knots in them, my pieces that are going to make really good coals, and then I'm going to stack them this same way, except for it'll be on the coal bed here, and it's going to look something like this. Those will burn away pretty good until they fall in again. And then when they fall in, the part that was here is going to be burned away more than down there, but the fire will be there. Then I'll be able to spread these out in a way that makes a really even coal bed that I can stick my foil dinner or my pot, whatever it is I want, could be on a flat bed of coals contained inside here, and easy to push the coals up around the side of the pot or on top of the foil dinner or whatever the case is. It's a really good system, really quick for cooking. I like it a lot, pretty versatile. In theory, this is going to be it. Okay, now I'm going to stack my little triangle thing. So that's about how that fire lay looks. Sometimes I like it wider so I can fit more pieces on there, but that looks like it's going to go all right. Okay, so I'll put this piece across here, and that's going to start my next layer of coals. To go something like, I could do a log cabin, or I could do whatever other system I like. Just trying to make sure I'm getting the best coals going with this one. Like that. So as you can see, that fire is coming through all the cracks in the stack. It's getting pretty good pretty fast, and maybe half an hour there'll be some coals good enough to cook on. And I'm going to actually, when this caves in, I'll spread it out and make it kind of more of an even bed of coals, and then I'm going to put more stuff on there to make a thicker bed of coals so I can actually cook. But it should be here pretty quick. So we're about almost 4 minutes into it now. The crossbar has definitely collapsed. The cinders underneath here are solid red. These top ones are, they got some red on them. So I think it's about time to adjust some stuff. I'm going to put the crossbar up into the rest of it there. Get myself another crossbar. Like I said, that's kind of disposable, replaceable. And then I'm going to try to stack some more pieces that are going to be longer lasting coals. And this wood is pretty hard and not going to burn away so easy. And it's going to be some coals that last for a good while. Alright, so we'll let that go for a while and check back in again. So it's been about 5 minutes maybe. The crossbar is not burnt through yet. The main pieces are charred on the inside and on fire, and it's just barely burnt into the wood there. The bark on the two that have the piece that have the bark is what's singed, but the other part where there's no bark, it's just barely burning into it. And on this side, from this angle, I can see lots and lots of bright. Oh, the crossbar just gave a little bit. Lots and lots of bright red and white coals. And then these top pieces are going to settle in there. Might be able to adjust them into a good spot somewhere around now. So I'm going to crossbar is broken, but it's not all the way burnt up. So I have probably 3 inches of solid red cinders right now. Above that, I probably have 3 inches of, black coals that are on fire. And that was the crossbar. And the main pieces here of the wAy are on fire on the bottom there. Let's see if I can push them together to smother that piece. Get some more air in between these pieces over here. And I'm trying to get a good bed of coals for my foil dinners tonight. So I'm trying to, open the spaces between them so the flames and the heat can get. I'm trying to get some of those black coals to become red cinders. But yeah, that's plenty to cook on. That's super hot. I'm gonna have a hard time reaching in and getting my food out. Alright, so here we are, foil dinners. Try to pick an even spot where I can put them both. And that's that. Coals. So right now I just took the foil dinners off, and the main pieces are charred, and this one is barely on fire. This one is charred as well, and they're holding up pretty good, and we'll definitely be able to use these for subsequent fires after this. And you can tell how much I'm pushing around these coals right now, that they're still pretty deep. I'm going to say 3 or 3.5 inches deep right now. And it's still hot. Wow. So that's the wAy fire lay, how easy it is to cook on it. So this is my coal bed after cooking. You know, as you can see a lot better, of course, without the flame going or anything on it. This is what's left of the wAy fire lay. This one's more than half. This one's slightly more than half. And I had the fire going for, I don't know, hour, 2 hours after cooking. The coal bed is here. I'm not feeling any heat in it right now. Barely any heat. I don't really think I'm going to find any embers to restart this with.